Dime lo que. Captain Zevin here, back at it again with some more One Piece content. Hope you guys stick around and enjoy the video, because today it's about to get toxic. Today we're gonna talk about Shanks versus Mihawk, and my take on the matter. So, Yonko on one side, world's greatest swordsman and ex-warlord of the sea on the other. Now, there's so many implications. So let's go over some of them and, go over the take. So, first off, in my opinion, these two characters are like at the top of the One Piece verse right now, right after Kaido, because after everything that Kaido's been doing, come on. Who's stronger than that? Like, even though even if when Luffy beats him, like, he's not stronger than him. Like, it took a lot to get him to that point. But right after him, it's gotta be Shanks and Mihawk, because let's think about it. So right now, it's implied that anything that Zoro does, Mihawk can do better. Which is insane considering where we are in the story right now, because Zoro's managed to scar Kaido, is fighting King, which is second only to Kaido. That's ridiculous that Zoro's this strong, but Mihawk is stronger. So you can infer that if Mihawk had to fight Kaido, he can also scar him. And how that fight would go, I would still say that, Kaido takes that W 1v1, but Mihawk is not going down easy though. So that's one thing. And then you look at Shanks. Shanks has Kaido's respect. Like, when he was talking about Luffy and how far is his ceiling gonna go, one of those people, and mind you, of those people, the only one alive was Shanks. Shanks was the only one alive that he thought of. Who else did he think of? Roger, Whitebeard, Odin, Rocks. Like, they're all dead. Shanks is the only one that's like, oh, he is worthy. But now he's actually having a good time fighting Luffy because he's finally got someone that he can fight with. So, portrayal right there, sky high. It has to be. He's the strongest one. And he considers Shanks to be there too. So, that's ridiculous. And you think about it, now, doubling back a little bit to Mihawk. After Wano, Zoro's either gonna be just about ready or an arc away from being ready to fight him, because after this, like, what more can he fight against to be ready to fight Mihawk? Right now I feel like we're getting to that point where, okay, we're finally close to how strong Mihawk is, because Zoro's finally getting there. And if this is where we are right now, then where he is crazy. I mean, they sent a freaking more horses than a buster call for one man. One man. And all he did was get excited. Like, man's feeling like Bullet over there. He's like, bring it. Give me everything you got. Like, that's crazy. And then, going back to Shanks now, he stopped the Marineford War. Just pulling up. He said, okay, enough's enough. Anyone want to fight? We here. Come on. Who fought? No one. Not a soul wanted to fight that. Because Shanks and crew are just that freaking powerful. You got freaking Ben Beckman, got Kizu like, oh, shoot. Don't shoot. What? Like, you're an admiral. And up to that point, it's like, we haven't seen much, against the Admirals other than, the top commanders. And obviously Ben Beckman is like vice captain, but it's like, damn, like he had him shook like that? Crazy. And so we have portrayals and feats from both Shanks and Mihawk, and just how strong they are. We know Shanks has Conqueror's Haki. He split the heavens with Whitebeard, and even though it hasn't been confirmed that Mihawk has Conqueror's Haki, I'm come on, it's pretty heavily implied. Like everyone who has the title greatest has Conqueror's Haki. And it makes sense why they do. Like they have the word greatest in their title. Whitebeard, or strongest, in some. Like you have Whitebeard, the strongest man. You have Kaido, the strongest creature. You have Mihawk, the greatest swordsman. Like that title comes with Conqueror's Haki. Like you made it to the top. So very, very safe to assume that he also has Conqueror's Haki. Now, doubling back again to the whole anything that Zoro does, it's implied that Mihawk can do better, and obviously I should have said this in the beginning, but spoiler alert. But Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. Kaido confirmed this on the rooftop and was like, when he got scarred, he's like, what the heck, you got Conqueror's Haki too? And we find out later that same chapter that you can hurt people with Conqueror's Haki. So Zoro not only has Conqueror's, he has advanced Conqueror's Haki. So Mihawk definitely has to have advanced Conqueror's Haki. And you also gotta think, okay, so that means Odin had that. But what do Odin and Zoro have in common that Mihawk does not have in common? They were not able to make their blades a black blade. So, it just goes to show that reaching that black blade tier, it means something. Now, they never explicitly said that Mihawk made his blade a black blade, but based on the context when he was, went back when Zoro fought Pika and he had that flashback talking about, armament Haki, Mihawk said, you can make a blade a black blade. If his blades were coated in Haki, they wouldn't have broke when they first fought. And up to this point, we only have 2 people in the entire verse that have created a black blade. Remember, not a supreme grade blade. That's different from a black blade. There are only 2. Shishui, that Ryoma did a long time ago, and Yoru, that Mihawk has. 2. Not even the king of the pirates or Whitebeard had a black blade. There's more depth to that than I think people realize, and I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that that's a big strength factor, an armament and Conqueror's Haki factor. And obviously, I'm pretty sure the only way that you would ever be able to achieve this is if you're like a pure swordsman, like the way Ryuma is, the way Mihawk is, the way Zoro is, like something along those lines. But, that's getting into other specifics. But, Mihawk has that, and no one else alive has that. And, to kind of bring everything together with really Mihawk and Shanks, Mihawk has said, Oda has said this I forget if it was an SBS or the Viver cards, but he's said already before, Mihawk is waiting for a worthy opponent to challenge him again. And Shanks is not that guy. It was like when, you guys remember when Luffy got his bounty and Mihawk went over there to say, hey, like, I remember you talking about him. Shanks' first reaction was, "Oh, you came to settle the score." And what does Mihawk say? He says, "After you lost that arm, it's not worth my time." What do you mean it's not worth your time? This is the same guy that stopped everyone in the war dead in their tracks when him and his crew showed up. And Mihawk said that's not worth his time? We're just gonna not take that implication to mean anything? That very, very heavily implies that Mihawk doesn't see Shanks as a worthy opponent because he's gonna take a W, and he knows it. If he knows that, then doesn't that imply which one is the stronger of the two? This is what's been said in the story. These are not my words. This is just what was said in the story. Now, everyone wants to throw in, different contexts and different like hockeys and stuff, but breaking it down to all the implications that we got, feat wise with Shanks and Mihawk. Of the two, they have incredible feats, some of the best in the series. But just that freaking context that we got from way back, you don't just say a Yonko is not worth your time. Like, that's insane. So, in my opinion, Mihawk takes the W against Shanks. And that's where I see it. So, of the two, that's where I stand. And pretty soon we're gonna see, when Luffy and the crew meet up with Shanks and when Zoro's finally fighting Mihawk, we're really gonna, we'll really get some good context as to where does everything stand on that. And just remember, Luffy and Zoro are going to surpass these two characters. Meaning, these guys are about to be the top two in the verse, but that's a discussion for another day. But that's my Shanks versus Mihawk take. And if you haven't freaking gouged your ears out from the toxicity yet, then I hope you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Captain Zevin is out of here.